Dr. Michael Chen walks into Judge Caprio's courtroom wearing a tailored charcoal suit that probably costs more than most people make in a month, and the first thing you notice is not his perfectly styled hair or his Italian leather shoes, but the way he carries himself, like someone who has spent 20 years having people call him doctor, like someone who genuinely believes that the MD after his name grants him immunity from the consequences ordinary people face. He is 47 years old, clean-shaven, with wire-rimmed glasses that make him look intellectual and trustworthy. And when he sits at the defendant's table, he does not look nervous or ashamed. He looks mildly annoyed, as if this entire proceeding is an inconvenience interrupting his real life. But Dr. Chen is not here for a malpractice suit. He is here because federal investigators discovered he was running what amounts to a prescription drug factory out of his pain management clinic, writing thousands of opioid prescriptions for cash, turning his medical license into a drug-dealing permit, and doing it all while people died with his prescriptions still folded in their pockets. But here is what makes this different. Dr. Chen does not think he did anything wrong. In his mind, he was not a criminal. He was a physician treating chronic pain patients the medical establishment had abandoned. The fact that 17 of his patients died from overdoses, that he was seeing 80 patients a day, spending 4 minutes with each one, that he never examined most of them, none of that registers as criminal behavior to him. So if you are wondering what happens when someone who took an oath to do no harm meets a judge who sees through every justification, say with me, because what you are about to witness is the moment when medical authority collides with moral accountability, when credentials become evidence of betrayal. Like the video, if you believe a medical license should never be a license to kill. It is Thursday morning at 9:30 a.m. in the Providence Municipal Court. The bailiff announces the United States of America versus Michael David Chen, MD. Dr. Chen stands with casual grace, adjusting his cufflinks like he is preparing for rounds rather than facing federal charges. Judge Caprio enters, and everyone stands except Donovan, who remains seated for 3 extra seconds before slowly rising. A small power play, the kind doctors use to establish dominance. Judge Caprio sees it. He sees everything. Good morning. Please be seated. Dr. Chen settles back and immediately pulls out his phone, scrolling through messages like someone in a waiting room rather than a defendant facing decades in prison. His attorney whispers urgently, and he puts it away, slowly, making it clear this is an accommodation rather than compliance. Judge Caprio looks at the thick case file, then at Dr. Chen. Dr. Chen, you are charged with conspiracy to distribute controlled substances, healthcare fraud, unlawful distribution of opioids resulting in death, and racketeering. These are federal felonies. Do you understand the charges? Dr. Chen leans forward with that particular tone doctors use when explaining something to patients they think will not understand. Your Honor, I understand what the government is alleging, but I think there has been a fundamental misunderstanding about pain management medicine and a physician's role in treating chronic pain patients. Judge Caprio removes his glasses slowly. Dr. Chen, I asked if you understand the charges. I did not ask for your medical opinion. Yes, Your Honor. I understand what they are claiming. The word claiming hangs in the air like a diagnosis he disagrees with. Judge Caprio nods. According to the indictment, between 2019 and 2024, you wrote over 60,000 prescriptions for opioid painkillers, collected approximately $8 million in cash, and 17 of your patients died from overdoses involving medications you prescribed. Is that accurate? Dr. Chen shifts and does something surprising. He pulls out his medical license and sets it on the defendant's table, where everyone can see it, the credential gleaming against the cheap wood. Your Honor, I wore this license for 2 decades. I took an oath. These allegations are an insult to every physician who dedicated their life to treating pain. Judge Caprio's voice sharpens. Dr. Chen, remove your license from the table. You are not here as a doctor today. You are here as a defendant. I am always a doctor, Your Honor. The courtroom goes quiet. Chief Donovan, I am going to say this once. You will remove your license from my courtroom table, and you will understand that your credentials do not grant you special status here. Do I make myself clear? Dr. Chen stares at Judge Caprio for a long moment, the kind of stare professionals use to make people back down. But Judge Caprio does not flinch. Finally, slowly, Dr. Chen picks up his license and puts it back in his pocket. His expression makes clear, this is not compliance, it is strategic retreat. Judge Caprio continues, you wrote 60,000 prescriptions in 5 years. The DEA found you were seeing 80 patients per day. If we assume a 10-hour workday, that is 7.5 minutes per patient. Does that sound like careful medical practice? Not every patient requires an extensive examination, Your Honor. For established patients with documented conditions, a brief follow-up is often sufficient. Judge Caprio opens a file. I have the case for patient 247, Jennifer Martinez, 28 years old, no documented chronic pain condition. You saw her for the first time for 3 minutes total. You prescribed 240 OxyContin tablets. She paid $300 cash. Explain that. Dr. Chen's jaw tightens. If I prescribed medication, it was because I assessed that patient and determined they had a legitimate medical need. You assessed a patient with no chronic pain condition in 3 minutes and determined she needed enough OxyContin to kill a horse. I trust my medical judgment, Your Honor. I am a trained physician with 2 decades of experience. Jennifer Martinez died 4 months later. Overdose. The coroner found prescriptions from you in her purse, OxyContin, hydrocodone, and fentanyl patches, all dated within the same 2-week period, all paid for in cash, all from your clinic. For the first time, Dr. Chen's confidence wavers. Your Honor, I cannot control what patients do with medications after they leave my office. You prescribed 3 different powerful opioids to the same patient within 2 weeks. Did you check the state prescription monitoring database? I do not recall. The answer is no. In 5 years, you accessed that database 0 times. You never checked if patients were doctor shopping or accumulating dangerous amounts of medication. Dr. Chen's attorney stands. Your Honor, the system was often down. It was available 98% of the time. Your client never used it because he did not care what patients were doing with the medications. He cared about collecting $300 per visit. Subscribe to Judge Stories if you believe medical licenses come with responsibilities that cannot be ignored for profit. Judge Caprio signals to the prosecutor, who displays surveillance footage. It shows Dr. Chen's waiting room, packed with 30-40 people, some nodding off, some fidgeting, clearly in withdrawal. People shuffle forward, hand over cash, wait 5 minutes, leave with prescriptions. It looks like a fast food restaurant, not a medical practice. This is your clinic, Dr. Chen. Does this look like careful pain management? Dr. Chen watches, his expression hardening. This is one day, taken out of context, filmed by agents trying to build a case. This is footage from 14 different days over 6 months. Every day looks like this. Patients in and out in minutes, cash exchanged, prescriptions written. No examinations, no medical history reviews. Judge Caprio pulls out a document. This is your medical chart for Mark Davidson. It says patient reports chronic back pain, prescribed OxyContin 80 mg and 120 tablets. That is the entire chart. No physical examination documented. No treatment plan. Nothing. I may not have documented everything. Or you did not do an examination at all. You collected cash and wrote a prescription. That is not medicine, Dr. Chen. That is drug dealing with a medical degree. The judge continues. Let me read a text message from your phone to your clinic manager. We need to increase patient volume. Aim for 100 per day. Fast in, fast out. Cash flow is the priority. Does that sound like a physician focused on patient care? Dr. Chen's face goes pale. That was about business efficiency. That was about maximizing profit by seeing as many patients as possible, as quickly as possible. You turn medicine into an assembly line. Judge Caprio opens another folder. Let me tell you about your patients. Jennifer Martinez, 28, died in her apartment with your prescriptions for 3 different opioids. David Thompson, 34, father of 2, overdosed in a motel with your prescription bottle next to him. Sarah Williams, 19 years old, came to your clinic with no pain complaint at all. You wrote her 180 OxyContin tablets for cash, no examination. She died 3 weeks later. Dr. Chen's voice is barely audible. I did not know. You did not know because you did not care to know. You were processing patients like an assembly line, and you did it thousands of times. Marcus Johnson, Robert Lee, Patricia Gonzalez, Amanda Foster, Kevin Wright, Lisa Chen. All dead. All your patients. 17 people, Dr. Chen. 17 families destroyed. And you collected $8 million while they died. Judge Caprio leans forward. Dr. Chen, take out your medical license again. Dr. Chen hesitates. Your Honor, take it out. Slowly, Dr. Chen removes his license and holds it. What does that license mean to you? It means I am a physician. It represents years of training and dedication. It means the state trusted you with extraordinary power. It means patients believed you would heal them, not harm them, and you betrayed every bit of that trust. You turned your medical license into a drug distribution permit. Now give it to me. The courtroom goes silent. Your Honor, this is my medical license. I earned this. You forfeited it when you became a drug dealer. Bailiff, take Dr. Chen's license. The bailiff approaches. Dr. Chen looks at his license, the credential that defined him for 20 years, then hands it over with shaking hands. Judge Caprio holds it up. Michael David Chen, you are hereby stripped of your medical license effective immediately. Your DEA registration is revoked. You will never practice medicine in any form, in any state, for the rest of your life. Dr. Chen makes a sound like something breaking inside. Now let us discuss your sentence. You have been found guilty of conspiracy to distribute controlled substances, healthcare fraud, and unlawful distribution, resulting in death. I am sentencing you to 30 years in federal prison, without possibility of parole, for at least 20 years. Dr. Chen's face goes white. Additionally, you will forfeit all assets obtained through your enterprise, your clinic, your home, your vehicles. Total forfeiture, $7.2 million. Your Honor, that is everything. You earned it by killing people. The funds will be distributed to a victim compensation fund for the families. Judge Caprio picks up the license again. You thought this would shield you from consequences. But your medical training does not mitigate your crimes. It makes them worse. You knew opioids were addictive. You knew rapid escalation increased overdose risk. You knew combining multiple opioids was potentially fatal. You knew because you are a doctor, and you did it anyway. The judge signals to marshals. Do you have anything to say before you are taken into custody? Dr. Chen stands, stripped of everything. Your Honor, I thought I was practicing medicine. I never meant for anyone to die. But they did die. 17 people died while you cashed their checks. Intent does not matter when the body count gets that high. The marshals approach. Dr. Chen does not resist as they put handcuffs on his wrists. The same wrists that wrote 60,000 prescriptions. As they lead him away, he glances back at the defendant's table where his medical license used to sit. Then he's gone, led through the door as federal inmate 847392, medical license destroyed, sentenced to 30 years for turning medicine into murder. Judge Caprio addresses the courtroom. When a doctor becomes a drug dealer, it is not just a crime. It is a betrayal of everything the medical profession stands for. Dr. Chen walked in thinking his credentials would save him. He left in handcuffs because medicine is not a shield. It is a responsibility. And when you betray that responsibility, the fall is harder because you were trusted with more. Within weeks, the story spreads through every medical community. Doctor stripped of license in courtroom. Pill mill physician gets 30 years. The 17 families receive notification of the Victim Compensation Fund, $7 million, cold comfort for deaths that never should have happened. 6 months into his sentence, Dr. Chen writes to the families. Most throw the letter away unopened. In it, he admits he hid behind his medical license, used his credentials to destroy lives, convinced himself he was practicing medicine when he was really dealing drugs to people who trusted him. He writes that MD stands for a promise to do no harm, and he broke that promise 60,000 times. Of the 3 families who read it, none respond, because there is nothing to say to someone who killed your child for money. Dr. Michael Chen had everything: education, prestige, income, respect. And he traded it all to run a pill mill. He walked into Judge Caprio's courtroom, expecting his medical degree would mark him as someone special. He left in handcuffs, stripped of his license, sentenced to 30 years, marked forever as the physician who betrayed his oath and killed 17 people for profit. His case became a reminder that no credential places anyone above accountability. That medicine is a trust, not a shield. That when you are given the power to heal, using that power to harm is not just a crime, it is a betrayal of everything the white coat represents. If you believe doctors should be held to the highest standards precisely because we trust them with our lives, like this video. If you want to see more stories where Judge Caprio refuses to be impressed by credentials when they are used to commit crimes, subscribe to my channel Justice Talks and check out the other videos on this channel. Because justice does not care what letters come after your name. It cares what you did with the power those letters gave you. See you in the next video. Stay healthy.